morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this prestigious event. To begin ceremony with an auspicious start, I would like to invite our esteemed dignitaries to light the traditional oil lamp. I would like to invite Professor Padmalal Manage, Vice Chancellor of the University of Jayewardenepura, Honorable Justice Yasanthi Kodagota, President Council and Judge of the Supreme Court, Professor Shuranta Henkinga, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and Professor Dr. K. Jayewardenepura, Conference Chair and the Principal Director of the International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences, India, Professor Danapala Vijay Singha, Head, Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice. I would like to invite Professor Dr. Victoria Himes, I would like to invite one of the students representing this conference to light the oil lamp. Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this prestigious event. We are here to embark on a journey of knowledge, inspiration, and collaboration. I would like to welcome you all to the first International Conference on Criminology and Criminal Justice, organized by Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, University of Jayewardenepura, and International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences, in collaboration with South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology and Savita School of Law, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. ආයුබෝවන් සුබ උදැසනක් වේවා පැමිණ සිටින ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම. අද දවසේ අපරාධ විද්‍යාව හා අපරාධ යුක්තිය සඳහා වන ප්‍රථම අන්තර්ජාතික පරීක්ෂණ සමුළුව වෙත සැපැමිණි ඔබ සියලු දෙනා ඊටමත් ආදරයෙන් ගෞරවයෙන් යුතුව මේ අවස්ථාවට පිළිගනු ලබනවා. Ladies and gentlemen, as a symbol of our deep connection to our beloved university, it is customary to stand together for our university anthem as well as for our department anthem. Thank you all. Next, I would like to invite Professor General Chair Professor Dhanapala Vijay Singha, Head of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice at the University of Sri Jayewardenepura, to deliver the welcome speech.
Good morning, esteemed guests, dear participants. Today is truly a historical day for our department, our faculty, and the university. We are inaugurating the first international conference on criminology and criminal justice, organized by our newly established Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. This is a special occasion that we organized with the collaboration of International Institution of Justice and Police Science in Bangalore, India, as well as the Sabita School of Law in India and the South Asian Association of Criminology. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to welcome all of you to this important event of our department. First of all, I am honored to welcome our Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor, and our leader of this university. We are working in terms of his vision and leadership. I extend my sincere gratitude to him. He is with a very busy schedule. He has to attend on another, on 9 o'clock, I think, so we have to advance the program. However, he managed to participate and deliver his speech. Then, the most important, His Lordship, Justice Yasantha Kodagoda. We are profoundly delighted to welcome you to this first international conference. Justice Yasantha Kodagoda is representing the highest echelons of the judicial hierarchy, that is Supreme Court of this country, and is due to deliver the keynote address. And the matters raised in this keynote address may be the themes of our discussion. I extend my sincere gratitude to him for accepting this invitation and gracing this occasion as the chief guest and the keynote speaker. Our leader in the faculty is the Dean, Professor Siranta Hinkenda, who is providing the guidance and energetic and enthusiastic in developing our faculty. So I warmly welcome him to this event. Professor Jayewardenepura of the International Institute of Criminal Justice and Police Science at Bangalore is one of our partner of this event. He played a leading role in organizing this event and making this event much more international in number and quality. So I warmly welcome Professor Jayewardenepura and his team, and then the Professor Jayewardenepura and Professor Victoria Time from the United States. Your participation itself gracing this occasion, and even Professor Benjamin Risk of the Gloucestershire University, I pronounce it correctly, I think, your university. Then our co-chairs of the event, the principal director of the Sabita School of Law. I warmly welcome you. And Michael Pitaro, the Honorary Professor of the Criminal Justice Program Chair of this session. Their participation is as an important recognition for the event. Professor Asa Sundaram from Sabitai School of Law, also working hardly to organize this event and coming with a large number of students from the college. Their participation is a particular event of this event, so I warmly welcome all the Indian scholars, professors, postgraduate candidates, as well as the students of law, criminology, and other sciences. Your participation itself enhances the significance of this event taking in Sri Lanka. Then Senior Inspector General of Police, Sajeev Madhawatta, and Director General, Deputy Director General of Police, Jayewardenepura also with us. So their representation is also important as this is concerned with the criminal justice in the country, representing the judiciary, representing the police and the other branches of the criminal justice system. So we are delighted to see your faces in this gathering. Then we have foreign delegates from different countries who are supporting us to organize this event. At the same time, due to present their papers and exchange their views on criminology and criminal justice and related areas. So I extend my gracious welcome to all the foreign delegates, academics, and the other supporters of this program. Then our university, all the deans of the university, not only our humanities and social sciences from other faculties, then our heads of department, our Reverend Sir Gabara Amila Himi is here. I apologize for not addressing at the beginning. Including Reverend Sir, we have the heads of department and the other professors, lecturers, and all the other academic and non-academic staff from this university and from other universities. So I warmly welcome you. Our paper presenters, our students, and all the other members of our department and the team, it is their effort and their commitment that made this event successful. So I am indebted to all the members of the organizing committee for working hard. This is a gigantic event. Our professor, late Professor Jayewardenepura, pioneered introducing criminology and criminal justice to the higher educational system in Sri Lanka. He started offering the criminology as a subject at the beginning in early 1980s, then proceeded to introduce a separate degree program in criminology and criminal justice, then to offer postgraduate qualification as masters and even up to the PhD level. So this is historical landmark of our history of higher education. Why? Criminology has not been accommodated in the higher educational system until Professor Jayewardenepura started the program. the police, judiciary, and the other prisons and other institutions working in the criminal justice system were trained in other countries after their basic training in their own institution. The universities were not offering courses in this field. So our professor understood the necessity of training these academics as well as the labor force of the criminal justice system, professionals of the criminal justice system. So we are talking about the problem of crime, problem of justice, and the national need of preventing crime. So we cannot say prevention is better than cure with reference to crime. Why? There are crimes without curative or remedial or restorative solutions. Murder is murder forever, and whatever justice we do, the justice system has all the punishment, but the life is not gained again. The person has gone forever. So what is important is the prevention of crime. Preventive justice is the most important with reference to the criminal justice. We are suffering from the adverse impacts of crime. So we have to address this particular problem of crime, the cost of crime. Now we are talking about the investment, economic crisis, the lack of investment all, but if we manage with the problem of crime, we can save millions of rupees per day, hundreds millions we are losing because of the crime. So I'm not taking much time as we are having a busy schedule. So it is with this particular significance of criminology, criminal justice, and considering the issues of this particular area of study that we organize this event, the national conference, international conference. We are a small department, very few number of our academic staff made a strenuous effort to make this event in this manner, a gigantic event accommodating more than 300 papers presenting online and offline. So I warmly welcome all of you and extend my sincere gratitude for accepting my invitation and making this live event, and I welcome all who join online also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dhanapala Vijayasinghe, for those inspiring words. As the guiding force behind our academic endeavors, our next speaker holds a profound influence on our university's trajectory. Please welcome our chief guest, Vice Chancellor of University of Sri Jayewardenepura, Senior Professor Padmalale Manage, as he shares his insights and thoughts.
Very good morning to all. Reverend Sirs, the Dean Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and Deans of the other faculties, and lecturers, plenary speakers, and head of departments from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and esteemed head of Indian Institution of the International Institute of Justice and Policy Sciences, paper presenters, distinguished invitees from different universities, and dear students. I think today is a remarkable day for the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, especially the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice. So I remember, when we split this Criminology and Criminal Justice Department from Department of Sociology of the university, based on the national and the international requirement. So it is my great honor and privilege to address this gathering as the chief guest of the first international conference on criminology and criminal justice, so the inaugurated by the University of Sri Jayewardenepura today. And also I would like to welcome all participants for the conference from Indian side and the police department and some other institutes directly attached to the Criminology and Criminal Justice Department. As a university and a national institute, we have a mission, and our vision is prosper through life. So just I want to give you a very brief about the evaluation, the evolution of the university. So our university started in 1972 as a University of Sri Jayewardenepura. So the earlier our university name was Vidyodaya University. Before that it is a Pirivana. So at the beginning, so we had 8 faculties, including Buddhism and languages and social sciences and Ayurvedic sciences and some other related to the management studies. So then we we have 11 faculties in the university system. We are having the largest faculties in our university. In terms of student population, we have more than 16,000 students in campus in all faculties, and more than 4,000 postgraduate students, and more than 47,000 external and extended the student attached to the external degree programs. So therefore, so then we are moving all the academic and other activities aligned with the sustainable goal of development goal of the country. So therefore I am very happy, because as a researcher and the head of the institute, so I strongly believe without research we can't continue our academic programs. So then just learning or just reading from a book is not a good path to teach students. We need research and do research and get the research finding, and then we have to analyze research finding, and this is the way to deliver good lectures to the university student. And also, so then through the research finding, so we can contribute a lot to the national development. So therefore, so I am very happy, and I want to thank the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice to initiate this first conference on criminology and criminal justice. It is a very needy and timely important topic. So then I also delighted to welcome our keynote speaker, Honorable Justice Jasantha Kodagoda. It is a well-known and well-famous character, the President, Council and Justice of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. And also we have foreign expert, Dr. Victoria Time, Professor of Criminal Justice from Old Dominion University, USA. And your presence had immense value for this conference, and so we are hoping to get your support in future, as well as your thoughts to this conference. So this is as I mentioned at the beginning, it's a significant milestone to the university. And the academic institutions, we are, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are not responsible only for teaching and producing graduates, but also for conducting research, publish our findings, and also we want to collaborate with stakeholders to influence policy and strengthen the enforcement of law in our country. It is lacking. So I would say, so we do research and we publish information and we discuss all the findings with the stakeholders and the policymakers, but the process to implement all these things are very slow. It is, that is why at the University of Sri Jayewardenepura have been fostering the strong research culture. So we started our research council in 2015, So I remember I was the first co-chair of the Research Council, and then through the Research Council we established 23 research centers. So this is especially I want to give this information to the Indian experts, because we have 23 research centers, all the research centers based on the national requirement. The health, engineering, social sciences, management sciences, technology and sciences. And also as a national institute, so we collaborate our students' research and industrial training with private sector, government department. So then we have so far from 2017, we have invested more than 1 billion Sri Lankan rupees for our research and research centers and individual researchers to come up with good research and proposals, and this is ultimately help to national development. So then this year 2024, though we are having a financial instability or crisis, so we were able to invest more than 330 million rupees for further enhance our research facilities in the university, providing individual research grant for our academics to do research and further strengthen their research capacity. So when I see the objectives of the conference, this conference objectives are clear and very meaningful, and to promote and disseminate the criminological and criminal justice knowledge in Sri Lanka, South Asia and beyond, and provide an academic forum for national and international scholars. So that's why the Indian scientists and Indian practitioners are with us, and to strengthen the academic reputation of the department and raise the awareness about crime prevention and control through academic discourse and knowledge sharing. So that's why we have number of experts for this conference, and throughout these 2 days you can share their experience, and also you have time to discuss with stakeholders while you doing your presentation, and take all these comments and suggestions as positive to, to improve your research and your for future research. So, and then when I see the theme of this conference, it says the new horizon in criminology and criminal justice. This reflects the evolving nature of this field and diverse challenges we face today. So therefore, I studied about the topics and themes of these some sub-tracks of this conference. It says the emerging trends in crime and technology and criminal justice, and restorative justice and rehabilitation, and international and social justice, and so on. So these are very timely important topics we are going to discuss throughout the conference. So therefore, as a Vice Chancellor of the university, I am very proud to say this year we received more than 400 abstracts. After clear double-blind process, the organizing committee selected 300 abstracts for presentation, personally, physically and virtually. So therefore, at the beginning it is a very good number, and then so then we address different fields of this criminology and criminal justice, and I want to congratulate the department and the organizing committee and the general chair and chairs of the conference. So therefore, I encourage all of you to engage in meaningful discussion during the whole 2 days, and share your research finding, and collaborate with policymakers, that is very important, and academia and practitioners to further collective understanding of crime and justice. So therefore, finally, I want to say thank you very much organizing this event, and thank you very much for the Indian collaborators to visit our university, and we expect further collaboration, and from our side, so in my end, I am very happy to give my fullest support to the future collaboration, future research, and also I would like to thank all our invitees and our guest of honor and all academia from different universities and institutes, and the police and the visitors and our invitees from different countries, students and all invitees. Thank you very much for helping us to strengthen the research culture of the university in the special emphasis of the criminology and criminal justice. So I wish you all the very successful, productive day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your leadership and vision that continues to inspire us all. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with our next segment, we have a special segment for you. We have prepared an introductory video that will set the stage for the rest of our event today. This video provides a glimpse into the culture of Sri Lanka. Well, before that, it is the moment to formally launch the abstract proceedings of this conference. Also, now we are going to distribute the mementos. I would like to invite Now you can witness the launching of the abstract proceedings. Now it's time to present the mementos. To distribute the first memento, I would like to invite Professor Dr. K. Jaishankar, Principal Director of International Institute of Justice and the Police Sciences, India.
So I think there's a confusion. So first we'll launch the abstract proceedings as the Vice Chancellor left for an important meeting. So now the formal launching of the proceedings will happen. Please give the abstracts. All the abstracts.
I would like to invite all the guests to open this ribbon and to show these abstracts to the audience.
Now it is correct, right? So this the gift is not given to him, no? No, not given, not given, not given. So shift it like, again I will give to him. Yeah, and then go.
Well, now it's time to give away the mementos. So I would like to invite Professor Dr. K. Jayewardenepura, Principal Director of International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences, to give away the mementos. And to receive it, I would like to invite Honorable Yasantha Kodagutta, Justice of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, and our guest of honor for the day. Next, I would like to invite Professor W.M. Dhanapala, Head of the Department of the Criminology and Criminal Justice, to give away the mementos to the Professor Shriramtha Henkenda, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Next, I would like to invite Professor Victoria Time, the Distinguished Professor, Old Dominion University of United States of America, to give away the memento to Professor W.M. Dhanapala, Head of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice in the University of Sri Jayewardenepura. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Seok Chen Ang, Deputy Director, Ministry of Law, Singapore, to give away the memento to Professor Dr. K. Jayewardenepura, International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Kavita Pandey, Assistant Director, Ministry of Law, Singapore, to give away the memento to the Professor W.M. Jayasundara, Associate Professor of University of Sri Jayewardenepura. Next, I would like to invite Dr. R. Sivakumar, Assistant Professor of Criminology, University, India, to give away the memento to Dr. Kaushalya Hevavasam, Senior Lecturer of University of Sri Jayewardenepura, Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Well, Now we are going to start with our next segment. We have a special segment and it is the introductory video for this session, and it will show you the culture of Sri Lanka. It will give you a good glimpse into the themes and the topics we'll be exploring further also.
First International Conference on Criminology and Criminal Justice, under the theme New Horizons in Criminology and Criminal Justice, is organized by the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice. In the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, University of Sri Jayewardenepura, and International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences in India, in collaboration with South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology, and Savita School of Law in India. University of Sri Jayewardenepura, one of the leading universities in the state university system in Sri Lanka, was established in 1959. The roots of this pioneering academic institution can be traced back to the Jayewardenepura, established in 1873 by Hikataway Sri Sumangala Thero at Malagakanda. There, the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences is a renowned seat of learning, initiated as an outcome of untiring efforts made by Venerable Weliwiti E. Sri Suwaratha Thero. Within this notable faculty, the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, the first of its kind in Sri Lanka, emerged from the visionary efforts of late Senior Professor Nandasena Ratnapala nearly 3 decades ago.
It is with great pleasure we introduce the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice through the first International Conference on Criminology and Criminal Justice. The Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice enjoys the reputation for introducing criminology and criminal justice as a first degree program and postgraduate programs in the higher educational system of Sri Lanka. The international conference we organized is a forum providing good opportunity and time for all academics and researchers to come and share their views with others. I take this opportunity to thank all the participants who contribute to the success of this conference and all who are behind the conference doing all organizational activities. Thank you very much.
Initially integrated within the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, it has later expanded its offerings. This growth culminated in the establishment of a separate department in 2016 within the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Today, the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice stands as a beacon of academic excellence, offering specialized undergraduate and postgraduate programs and diplomas to meet the evolving needs of society. With an emphasis on research, education, and practical application, the department continues to shape the next generation of scholars, practitioners, and policymakers dedicated to preventing and controlling crime in Sri Lanka and beyond. Meanwhile, the International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences, founded by Professor K. Jayewardenepura in 2022, is the world's first institute of excellence in crime science, justice science, police, and security sciences. With a great vision of becoming an institution of academic excellence with a total commitment to quality education, research, training, consultancy, and outreach in crime and security sciences. With a holistic concern for a better life, environment, and society, IJPS continues to contribute to the field in multiple dimensions.
South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology was formed by me in 2009 in Tirunelveli, and the main objective of the South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology is to promote criminology and victimology in the South Asian countries like as Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, etc. And we are now gone to a time period where we started from the digital era, now we are into the social media very well. And for the past 10 years, SASV, or South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology, we have done good works with relation to publication and conferences and seminars.
Both the International Institute of Justice and Police Sciences and the South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology were founded by internationally renowned criminologist, Professor K. Jayewardenepura. Ranked 16th among the top 25 influential criminologists in the world during 2010 to 2020 by academic influence in the United States of America. Professor Jayewardenepura is the founding father of cybercriminology, cyber-victimology, therapeutic criminology, theological criminology, political victimology, and the space transition theory of cybercrimes. Today he serves as the chair of the first international conference on criminology and criminal justice. Savitha School of Law, the oldest private law college in Chennai, is affiliated with Savitha Institute of Medical and Technical Sciences, a deemed-to-be university recognized by the University Grants Commission. The institution has earned a strong reputation for its innovative approach to legal education, offering a wide array of programs, including Bachelor of Arts LLB Honors, Bachelor of Business Administration LLB Honors, Bachelor of Commerce LLB Honors, and specialized courses like Bachelor of Science LLB Honors and Bachelor of Technology LLB Honors. Savitha's unique curriculum emphasizes flexibility and digitized learning, enabling students to tailor their education to their interests. The law school has consistently ranked highly, securing the 13th spot in the 2024 National Institutional Ranking Framework for Law Schools, which places it among the top law institutions in India. With state-of-the-art infrastructure and a focus on research, Savitha is also recognized as one of the leading law schools in Chennai. Today marks a remarkable day in the history of these four academic entities, since this flagship event will provide a unique opportunity for scholars, practitioners, policymakers, and other stakeholders to come together and share their knowledge and experiences on criminology and criminal justice. Hence, researchers worldwide are ready to present their research findings under 9 sub-themes including emerging trends in crime, technology and criminal justice, restorative justice and rehabilitation, intersectionality and social justice, globalization and transnational crime, crime prevention, forensic science and criminology, criminology and law, and victimology and victim justice. Hence, we warmly welcome you all to the first international conference on criminology and criminal justice.
To introduce us to these exciting themes of this year's conference, we have none other than Professor Dr. K. Jayewardenepura, the founding principal director of IIJPS and the founder president of SASCV.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. 1 year back, one of my mentee, Mr. Idayvel Shanmugam, sent me a WhatsApp message. There is a conference that's happening online on ICCCJ 2024. So I went through that, and since I'm the founder president of South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology, I thought that this is a time that we should collaborate. And I also came to know that there is an exclusive Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice in Sri Lanka, and it's a first of its kind. Then I contacted the organizing secretary and the HOD and discussed. And I told that I will shoulder the responsibility of physical conference. So that way around that we collaborated, and this came fruitful with the organizations like the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, IIJPS, SASV, and Savitha School of Law. So also, the idea of the theme, New Horizons in Criminology and Criminal Justice, marks a very big transition, because for the past 20 to 25 years, you can see that there's a very big growth of crime online. So there is a shift of crime from physical to online. So two different criminologies have evolved, the traditional criminology vis-a-vis the cyber criminology. And also new forms of crime have emerged, where you find that the transition has happened from stalking to cyber stalking, bullying to cyber bullying. Apart from that, new forms of cybercrime like hacking happen. So that way around, you'll find that crime is changing and criminology is changing. When crime is changing, criminology should change, and especially South Asian criminology is in crossroads. So we are still new. So for example, in India, it is just 70 years old criminology, and in Sri Lanka also, it's not very old, maybe 30 years. So still, we have a long way to go compared to the nations like UK and the United States, where criminology is very well developed. And in this light, so we had some themes and the emerging trends of crime, as I pointed earlier, that how we look crime from a different perspective. So we don't look from an earlier angle of the punishment where it was only purely on retribution, but now we are looking more into restorative justice, and also victimology is developing well. And technology and criminal justice, new technologies have come now, artificial intelligence. So everybody knows that deep fake is a big problem, where bodies are morphed with women's photographs and images, and then that has become a big issue in nations like Korea, India and other places also. And the intersectionality and social justice is a key theme of the conference, where the LGBTQ people are given more importance nowadays, and also the transgender rights are recognized by many nations, including India. And also you can see that globalization has happened for the past 30 years, where the GATT agreement was there, and then it opened. And because of that, now we are making significant roads in everything. For example, the technology has enabled us to send information in a second. So we are now online, live in this particular program because of the technology. So, and also faster information is happening. But at the same time, crime is also happening in globalized era, where dark web is used. People are selling anything and everything in dark web, and that is becoming a big issue. And also, we always talk about crime investigation a lot, but not about crime prevention. And especially the models available in the US, like embedded policing, problem-oriented policing, all these things are now coming to picture in reality in South Asian nations too. So we are also now using crime mapping, geographic information system, all to prevent crime also. So especially the evidence-based policing is emerging in a big way. All the policing system are using evidence-based policing. And forensic science and criminology are two sides of the coin, because the criminology comes in first as the roots, whereas the forensic comes as the branches. So this need to be integrated, because it's both are working on silos, and it is very difficult. We can find that there are Department of Forensic Science separately and criminology separately, but in some places there are departments which are jointly also there. But I find that there should be an integration of technology, integration of science with criminology, because criminology is more a theoretical subject, but at the same time it can be made practical with the assistance of the other disciplines. And law and criminology has a long way, because the founders of criminology came from law, especially Cesar Beccaria and Bentham. And later it was taken over by scientist Cesar Lombroso. But the basic of criminology lies with law. And any crime that is defined within the logbook is only considered as law, as crime, and others are not considered as crime. But since criminology is a different discipline, we consider harm also as a part of crime, in spite it may not be defined. That's why criminologists are a little radical, where we integrate many disciplines, not only law, but also psychology, sociology, sciences and everything. So we are jack of all trades, but master of none. But at the same time, I emphasize that criminology graduates should also learn law, should also learn psychology, should also learn other fields, and take more responsibility on their shoulders to become a holistic criminologist. And victimology is developing very well for the past 70 to 75 years. And now many of the law schools and others are offering programs in victimology. In fact, World Society of Victimology was inaugurated in '73, and many conferences they have conducted. And the recent changes in Indian criminal laws gave much importance to victimology. So in this way, our themes are very, very relevant, And I once again take this opportunity to make a small note of thanks to the HOD and the organizing secretary, Madam Kausalya, and Professor Dhanapala. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite our Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Shirantha Heenkender, to share his valuable perspective.
Thank you very much. Very good morning, Venerable Mahasangha and the esteemed guests, the head table, distinguished scholars, participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is with almost honor and privilege that I welcome you all to the first International Conference of Criminology and Criminal Justice 2024, organized by the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice at the University of Jayewardenepura and the International Institute of Justice and Police Science in collaboration with the South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology and Savita School of Law. This landmark conference centered around the new horizons in criminology and criminal justice. Professor mentioned that very clearly, what are the new dimension and new horizon in this field, an emerging area of this field. I think representing in the significant milestone not only for our university but also for the advancement of the criminology discipline in Sri Lanka, South Asia and beyond. The criminology discipline, especially, he mentioned clearly the importance of not for the law as well as a different field of the social sciences as well as the humanities and the science also. So, gathering of distinguished scholars, practitioners, experts from around the world will foster meaningful dialogue, collaboration and exploration of cutting-edge development in the field. I extend a warm welcome of each of you as we remark in this important academic journey together. Our primary objective in organizing this conference are to promote the dissemination of criminology and criminal justice knowledge across the region, to provide the academia forum for the national, international scholars to discuss, explore the contemporary issues this vital field. Criminology and criminal justice play a crucial role shaping the society, ensuring the justice and fostering safer communities. This conference reflects our collective commitment to addressing the challenges, advancing the understanding of criminology and criminal justice in the today's world. We are immensely proud that have a presence, a mainly eminent figure in this field of our keynote speaker. First, it is with the great pride that I welcome Honorable Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, President, Chancellor and Justice of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. His invaluable contribution to the legal landscape of Sri Lanka have set a standard of the excellence in justice. I am equally honored to welcome all preliminary speakers, including the police, Sri Lanka police representatives, who expert in the contribution are invaluable in this event. We are privileged to have such extreme figures in the legal and criminal justice landscape join us, and I am confident that their insight, experience will enrich our discussion throughout this conference, especially the Indian counterparts and Sri Lankan, our scholars with engage with this conference. I think it is more benefit for the sharing knowledge of your discipline. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice for their hard work and dedication to make this conference as a reality. Your effort have proved be a meaningful discussion and collaboration that will surely shape the future of the criminology and criminal justice. Thank you very much, and thoughtful and inspiring conference to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shranta Henkenda, for your valuable insights and for being a guiding force behind us. Next, I would like to invite Associate Professor W. M. Jayasundara, Co-Chair of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, to introduce the guest of honor.
Very good morning to all the participants. It is my great pleasure to welcome His Lordship Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, as well as the Dean of the Faculty, distinguished professors and academic staff members, and all our distinguished guests to the highly anticipated inaugural session of this prestigious research session. We are truly privileged to have Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, a distinguished Justice of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, as the guest of honor for this international research conference. Your presence today is truly valued and appreciated. Now, let me present Justice Yasantha Kodagoda's outstanding credentials. Justice Yasantha Kodagoda is a judge of the Supreme Court. He is an old boy of Ananda College, Colombo. He took course as an attorney at law in 1982 and holds a Master of Laws degree in Public International Law from the University of London. With over 36 years of experience in the legal field, he has contributed in enhancing the efficacy of the criminal justice system. He started his career as a state counsel in the Attorney General Department in 1989 and served as a public prosecutor before the High Court and Magistrate Courts. In 2005, he was promoted as a Deputy Solicitor General and worked as the officer in charge of criminal prosecution in the North Central Province from 2012 to 2014. Later, then in 2015, he was promoted as Additional Solicitor General, where he functioned as the officer in charge of the Attorney General's Department for the Central Province. In 18th March 2015, he was appointed as a President Counsel by the President. On 28 March 2019, following a nomination by His Excellency the President and unanimous approval of that nomination by the Constitutional Council, was appointed the President of the Court of Appeal before elevating to the Supreme Court in 3rd February 2020. Since 1991, he has served as a legal advisor to the Police Narcotic Bureau and to the Criminal Investigation Department. In 1999, he functioned as a member of the delegation representing the government of Sri Lanka to the UN Human Rights Commission and the UN Human Rights Council. From 1996 to 1998, he functioned as the Attorney General's Counsel in the Commission of Inquiry into the Maintenance of Places of Unlawful Detention and Torture Chambers at the Batalanda Sapukatskand. In many occasions, he was an accredited representative of the government of Sri Lanka to the UN Committee Against Torture and the UN Security Council's Working Group on Children in Armed Conflict. In addition to serving at the Attorney General's Department, he functioned as the director of the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies of the Incorporated Council of Legal Education. He has also served as the primary counsel of the state who developed the policy framework and the draft legislation relating to the assistance to and the protection of victims of crime and witnesses Act number 4 of 2015. He also functioned as counsel representing the government of Sri Lanka in the anti-terrorism investigation code name Operation Osmium conducted by the Metropolitan Police United Kingdom from 2008 to 2009. He has served as the chairman of the ICCCJ Drafting Committee of National Action Plan on Human Rights. From 1995 to 2009, he was a visiting lecturer at the Sri Lanka Law College, Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, Police Higher Training Institute, Criminal Investigation Department, Police Narcotic Bureau, Bandaranayake Center for International Studies, University of Colombo, Sri Jayewardenepura and Kalaniya, Kothalawala Defence University and Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, and commissioned to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. From 2004 to 2006, he has served as the Joint Secretary of the Medical Legal Society of Sri Lanka, and in the years of 2022 to 2024, he was the President of the Medical Legal Society. Since 1995-2019, he was a member of the Bar Council of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. April 2015 onwards, he was the Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Presidential Task Force for the Recovery of Stolen State Assets and Proceeds of Crime. He was also a member of committee appointed by the Minister of Justice to reform the law relating to the conduct of inquest into death, and the Prime Minister's Committee on drafting the policy and legal framework of the proposed Counter-Terrorism Act, and the Board of Management, National Authority for the Protection of Victims of Crime and Witnesses, the Criminal Law and Procedure Review Committee appointed by the Minister of Justice, the expert member, National Security, Law and Order and Police Committee of the Constitutional Assembly, Sri Lanka Parliament, Committee on the Education of Torture from Police Practices, assisted the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into issuance of Treasury bonds. He has also chaired many committees, such as in 2017 to 2018, he has chaired a committee that developed the policy and legal framework relating to a comprehensive Proceeds of Crime Act and acted as legal advisor. Financial Intelligence Unit, Central Bank of Sri Lanka. In 2022 to 2023, he chaired a committee to develop a new scheme for the management of expeditious disposal of court production, and chaired a committee to develop a new scheme for house arrest in lieu of remand custody. Further, in 2023 to 2024, he has chaired a committee to develop draft legislation for a law on proceeds of crime. Since then, he has been serving as a regular resource person of the Judges Training Institute of Sri Lanka and the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. He has presented papers at many international and domestic conferences and seminars and published articles in law journals on the following themes: criminal justice response to child abuse, legal framework relating to prevention, detention, investigation and prosecution of money laundering, prevention of secondary victimization of child victims of abuse when passing through the several phases of the criminal justice system, conduct of criminal prosecution into cases of child abuse, rights and entitlements of victims of crime and witnesses, mechanism for protection of victims of crime and witnesses, law and practice relating to bail, duties, powers and functions of the Attorney General, evolution of law, current practices and need for law reform in the conduct of inquest into death, corporate criminality. I would like to a warm invitation to Justice Yasantha Kodagoda to kindly proceed with his keynote address. Thank you.
Slides over there. If they can reduce the light.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Venerable Mahasangha, the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Shirantha Henkanda, the Head of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, Professor Dhanapala Vijayasinghe, the founding principal director of the Indian Institute of Criminology and Criminal Justice, Professor K. Jayewardenepura, Associate Professor and the co-chair of the conference, Professor W. M. Jayasundara, Professor Victoria Time, Conference Secretary, Senior Lecturer Dr. Kaushalya Hevavasam, distinguished participants from both India and Sri Lanka, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. My theme today relates to enhancing the efficacy of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka. And my focus with regard to enhancing efficacy is on the enhancement of the efficiency of the criminal justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, as you would know, in any criminal justice system, there are multiple objectives that are sought to be achieved through that system, through the enforcement of that system. And I would like to present to you both the primary and the secondary objectives of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka, and I would think these same objectives apply to India and to other countries as well. So the primary objective of criminal justice, ladies and gentlemen, as I see, is in the enforcement of somewhat of a wholesome and an ill-defined response to crime, which is called the justice response to crime. Criminal justice systems world over is founded upon different models, I have identified 3 primary models of criminal justice, and they being retributive justice, reparative justice, and restorative justice. In countries around the world, the primary focus is on retributive justice. However, over a period of time, we see a gradual shift from retributive justice to reparative justice, and this emerging form of criminal justice known as restorative justice. There are, in addition to those justice-related responses, there are other objectives of criminal justice which I would like to call secondary objectives, and they are enforcing the rule of law, which is a very important aspect in any society. When crime has been committed, it is a serious and a flagrant violation of the rule of law, and criminal justice is a means by which that rule of law which has been breached is sought to be enforced. Another secondary objective of criminal justice is providing justice to victims of crime. We heard Professor Jayewardenepura referring to victimology. You would have heard references to a law in Sri Lanka relating to assistance and protection to victims of crime and witnesses. So that is all to do with delivery of justice to victims of crime. And then recovery of proceeds of crime. Proceeds of crime which have been separated due to the committing of criminality, may it be in the form of very simple criminal offences like theft, or more complicated offences like the offence of corruption. There is the proceeds of crime that have been taken away by perpetrators from their legitimate owners, those who are entitled to reap the benefits of property and finances in particular. And criminal justice is a means by which those proceeds of crime are sought to be restored to those who have a legitimate entitlement to proceeds of crime. When crime occurs, ladies and gentlemen, in society, people are eager to know as to what exactly had happened with regard to the incident of crime. And you see the media providing different narratives. However, people obviously want to know the truth and the whole truth. Criminal justice and publicity to criminal justice measures is a means of knowing more or less an accurate narrative, an accurate description of what had in fact happened, and that is a very important secondary objective. So there is also this very important secondary objective which stems from retributive justice, and that is the punishment. The punishment serves not only as retribution to the offender, but it serves as a means of deterrence to society, so that at least because people are frightened of the punishment, people would be dissuaded from committing crime. And that is also a key objective. The deterrence effect of punishment is also a key objective that is sought to be achieved by criminal justice. Now, as I said, when crime occurs, in whatever form, in whatever manifestation, criminal justice response is a key response. I must also say that the criminal justice response to crime is not the only response to crime. There can be social responses, there can be political responses, and some would say that there are even religious and spiritual responses to crime. Of course, our focus is with regard to the criminal justice response to crime. And this involves certain key facets. Whenever crime has occurred, the crime itself has to be detected, the detection of crime. The perpetrator of that crime has to be identified. He has to be apprehended. The crime itself has to be investigated. The perpetrator prosecuted before a court of law and nowhere else, a court of law. And if in fact he is the correct perpetrator, he must be convicted and sentenced in terms of the law. So I would present to you, ladies and gentlemen, this byline with regard to criminal justice. I would think criminal justice is the conviction of the guilty and the acquittal of the innocent. And why should that second line apply? I would say the second line applies due to the fact that there is always the possibility of a person who has not committed a crime being arrested and prosecuted. If in fact a person who has not committed a crime due to a system failure is arrested and is being prosecuted, the system should be such that that innocent person must necessarily be acquitted. So I repeat the byline, criminal justice is all about conviction and punishment of the guilty and the acquittal of the innocent. So this system failure aspect is what professionals associated with criminal justice are keen to avoid. That is the objective of ensuring that only actual perpetrators of crime are apprehended and prosecuted and thereafter convicted and punished. We seek to avoid a system failure in the nature of an innocent person being arrested, prosecuted, convicted, and punished. Similarly, there is another, and I would think a more important system failure. And what is that? That system failure is all about inaction by different components of criminal justice. And that is a situation where actual perpetrators of crime are not identified, are not apprehended, are not prosecuted, are not convicted, and are not punished. That is, I would think, a more important system failure that all of us must aspire to prevent. That can lead to far-reaching and very serious consequences, which I would broadly say would give rise to anarchy due to lack of the efficacy of criminal justice. I will repeat, that is all about actual perpetrators of crime not being identified, apprehended, investigated, prosecuted, convicted, and punished. That gives rise to a very serious social lesion which has multiple and far-reaching consequences that all of us must necessarily aspire to avoid. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is once again the overall theme of criminal justice: identification, detection, and investigation of crime, apprehension of criminals, prosecution of offenders, and their conviction and punishment, but through lawful and fair criminal trials, and not through anything else. Nobody else than the criminal justice system should take account of the committing of crime. If various other parties were to take account of crime and start dealing with suspected perpetrators, that is a very serious affront to the rule of law. So, particularly since there are foreign participants, this slide is about the core features of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka. It's modeled in terms of and according to the criminal justice system of the United Kingdom, Britain as it was called then, they are being the last colonial rulers. So the very origin of modern criminal justice is found in the British criminal justice system. We have an adversarial system of justice as opposed to an inquisitorial system of justice, but notwithstanding the fact that the criminal justice system is adversarial in nature, there are occasional inroads into the inquisitorial system. We have the common law tradition, so we have both the black letter of the law, which is found in statutes, as well as judge-made law, which we refer to as the unwritten law or the common law. We apply the doctrine of judicial precedence, that is to take account of judgments of superior courts when deciding matters in the future. That doctrine is referred to as the doctrine of stare decisis. These are four very important features of the criminal justice system, certainly the judicial component of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can see it clearly, is the basic 5-segment institutional components of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka. So there is the investigation component in box number 1, which is handled by law enforcement agencies, the police being the primary law enforcement agency, also the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, as well as other law enforcement agencies like public health inspectors, Consumer Affairs Authority, National Environmental Protection Authority, Securities and Exchange Commission, etc. So they handle the investigational component of criminal justice. Then in box number 2 is the prosecutorial component of criminal justice, and that would mean primarily the Attorney General, once again the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, and also the police themselves. In the magistrates court, prosecutions are handled by the police primarily. So that is the prosecutorial component of criminal justice. Then there is the trial component, which is primarily in the magistrates court and the High Court, both the High Court of the Republic of Sri Lanka as well as the provincial High Court of the different provinces. Then there is invariably an appellate stage where a person aggrieved by a judgment of a trial court appeals. These appeals are heard in the provincial high courts, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court, the final court. And finally, component number 5, which is a reference to correctional institutions, prisons in particular, probation, as well as community-based corrections. That's a separate department in itself. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, a macro view of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka, 5 distinct components working together to deliver criminal justice. So within these institutions, as I told you, there are different agencies who handle their respective responsibilities, and you would see on the right hand side the first and the second bullet points. the trial and the appeal, that's handled by the judicial organ of the state, which is independent from the executive organ of the state. All the others, investigation, prosecution, as well as the management of penal sanctions, are handled by the executive arm of the state. So criminal justice, ladies and gentlemen, is a very peculiar amalgamation of two different organs of the state, the executive and the judicial organs of the state. And I would think there is a legislative component to it as well, because both the substantive law as well as the procedural law based upon which we deliver criminal justice is enacted by Parliament. So there is a legislative component to criminal justice as well. This chart, ladies and gentlemen, is a very detailed chart. I am not going to spend time describing this chart, but this chart basically reflects the interrelationship between the different organs of both the executive and the judiciary with regard to the delivery of criminal justice. So there is the police being the primary law enforcement agency. There is the CIABOC, the Commission to Investigate Allegations of Bribery or Corruption. There is the police. There are forensic services, the different courts, Magistrates Court, High Court, and the Provincial High Court. And during the appeal stage, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. There are other stakeholders in the criminal justice system, such as the independent bar, also referred to as the unofficial bar, who serve as criminal defense attorneys. There is the Assistance to and Protection of Victims of Crime and Witnesses Authority, that's a statutory body. There is the corrections institutions, the probation. So there are multiple stakeholders and service providers in the criminal justice system. But for the purpose of understanding properly what I am going to speak to you next on, what you need to know is that criminal justice comprises of different organs and different institutions working together. And if you take criminal justice as a single body, there are inflows into the system and outflows from the system. Crime is committed, crime is reported to the police, that's an inflow. At the left end, that's an inflow. Crime is detected by the police and it is investigated upon, that's another inflow into the system. A private criminal plaint is filed in the magistrate's court, that's an inflow. That's how cases come in to the criminal justice system. And at the other end, a person completes his prison term and he leaves prison, that's an outflow. A person is sentenced to serve a term of community-based corrections, he completes serving that term and he leaves, that's another outflow. A person is acquitted or discharged from court due to the want or absence of evidence, that's outflow. So what you need to remember, and that is the problem that I wish to discuss with you, is that if you take criminal justice as a single body, yes, there are multiple organizations, but if you take criminal justice as a single body, there are inflows into the system. Similarly, there are outflows from the system. So I'm going to leave the presentation with the organizers. Anybody who is interested in further study can get a copy. Now, as I told you at the very outset, the key area of my presentation is regard the efficacy of criminal justice, and I would think Efficacy, as you know, is the success rate in achieving the objectives. So the efficacy of criminal justice means to what extent objectives of criminal justice are achieved by the given system. Now, efficacy, ladies and gentlemen, from the perspective of criminal justice, I think, is threefold. The integrity of the process, the accuracy and the effectiveness of the process, and finally, the efficiency and the productivity of the system. Out of these three areas, the next part of my presentation will be on the third, the efficiency and the productivity of the criminal justice system of Sri Lanka. So, this is a snapshot view of the caseload in our criminal justice system, the judicial component of the criminal justice system. So we have institutionally 107 magistrates court. In each magistrates court there is a magistrate. So throughout the island we have 107 magistrates courts. We have 46 high courts that exercise original criminal jurisdiction, 46 island-wide. In the Court of Appeal, there are two divisions of the Court of Appeal. Each division is presided by two judges, and we have altogether two divisions of the Court of Appeal to hear criminal appeals. In the Supreme Court, we don't have a dedicated division because there is actually no need for a dedicated division. Each division in the Supreme Court ordinarily comprises of 3 judges of the Supreme Court. Every day, either 3 or 4 divisions of the Supreme Court sit to hear appeals and applications. Criminal appeals form one small segment of our workload. So we don't have dedicated judges to hear criminal appeals. Now, this is the caseload, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in comparison with the institutional capacity, this is the caseload as at the end of 2023. 743,742 cases in the magistrates court, both pre-trial as well as trial. 26,542 criminal trials, bail applications and appeals from the magistrates court being heard in the High Court. In the Court of Appeal, we have 282 criminal appeals. So this is basically, ladies and gentlemen, the workload in the judicial component of the criminal justice system. So I would invite you to reflect on this workload, keeping in mind the institutional capability of the several courts available in the country. Now, because my focus is on efficiency and productivity, a key component of efficiency is determined upon the time period that is taken for the complete criminal justice response to crime, the full response. This is based on a survey that I conducted while I was still at the Attorney General's Department in 2013. So the average time, ladies and gentlemen, from the time a crime is reported to the police, investigation, pre-trial proceedings, charging or indictment, and the end of the High Court trial. The end of the High Court trial is a staggering 10 years and 2 months. 10 years and 2 months to complete the first cycle of criminal justice. Now, if there is to be an appeal to the Court of Appeal and possibly to the Supreme Court as well, another 3 to 7 years is taken for the hearing and the delivery of the judgment of the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court, as the case may be. So you are basically looking at approximately 15 to 17 years, or roughly on average 15 years, for the completion of the entire criminal justice response to serious crime. And I would think, if you can, for example, and God forbids this happening, if your house is burgled today, that's a serious crime. When will you hopefully receive final justice? We are in 2024, so 15 years hence will be 2039. So none of you who focus on management, efficiency and productivity would agree that this is an efficient system. It is certainly not an efficient system, and we have to necessarily rectify this situation. So I'm not going to spend time on discussing with you different ways in which cases come into the system, the inflows. The slide is there for you to carefully read, and the different outflows from the system. I explained that to you very basically. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the problem. From a managerial perspective, this is the problem. We have a large number of inflows into the system, new cases, new crimes being reported, large number of inflows. We have limited judicial capacity, and that leads to prolonged time being taken to process, and there is what I refer to as a system overload, complete inability to grapple with this large number of cases. Mr. Senaratne would say that is the same with the police as well. They have a police force of 84,000, of which only about 1/3 can be mobilized to conduct criminal investigations. The others have various other responsibilities like crime prevention, community policing, regulating traffic, VIP security, so on and so forth. So only about 1/3 from 84,000 can be mobilized for crime investigation. So they find it difficult to effectively investigate in a timely manner all cases brought to their attention. And the judicial component is also like that, where the limited number of courts has resulted in what I refer to as a system overload. And that is what is taking, for the first cycle, 10 years and 2 months, and for the overall cycle, period of 15 years. So what is the solution? This, ladies and gentlemen, I would respectfully submit, is this solution. There has to be a decrease in the inflows, particularly by strengthening crime prevention strategies, by developing alternate and effective responses to crime outside conventional criminal justice. And one method that we have, which can be easily strengthened, is victim offender mediation. So we need to think of reducing the inflows and deviating some of the inflows to mechanisms regulated by the law, situated outside conventional criminal justice, such as victim offender mediation, such as spot fines. Now take for example, if the police do not impose spot fines and all those cases come into the magistrate's court, look at the prolific increase in the number of cases. So spot fines is a effective method of deviating from the criminal justice system the number of inflows. Then in the middle segment, obviously it goes without saying that institutional capacity must necessarily be increased. So number of courts, number of service providers, the logistics associated with courts, so institutional capacity has to be increased. More and more police officers and other law enforcement officers have to be mobilized towards the conduct of criminal investigations. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we can see, hopefully, over a period of time, an increase in efficiency. The time period going down from 10 years and 2 months to a meaningful, reasonably acceptable time period. Criminal justice world over consumes a lot of time. But certainly, for the first cycle to complete, 10 years and 2 months would be wholly unacceptable. For the entire cycle to be completed, 15 years is far in excess. We cannot expect the society and the innocent victims of crime to wait for that length of time to secure justice from the criminal justice system. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, I have in my detailed presentation, which you are free to take, stated from a Sri Lankan perspective various ways in which the inflows can be reduced, and similarly how institutional efficiency can be increased, automation, digitization, using tools driven by artificial intelligence are all means by which institutional efficiency can be increased. Day-to-day trials necessarily being taken up. Our average time for a high court criminal case which is heard by a judge sitting alone without a jury is 3 years, which is unacceptable. So even non-jury trials must necessarily be heard on a day-to-day basis. That is one way in which an expeditious pathway can be provided. So in the detailed note, I have presented different ways in which the system can be made more efficient. So ladies and gentlemen, I know that creating efficiency is a huge challenge for a developing country, because governments can devote and mobilize only that much of financial resources to the justice sector. So obviously increase of institutional capacity is a challenge because it is linked to the availability of financial resources. But increase of efficiency is something within our capability. Reduction of inflows is a means within our realm of responsibility. So this is basically my presentation to you. I do concede and I repeat that enhancing efficiency is only one solution to the problem. We must focus on the accuracy of the system and also enhancing the integrity of criminal justice. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the patient hearing.
We are indeed privileged to have you here today, dear Sir, Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, Judge of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. As a symbol of our profound gratitude and appreciation, we have a special token of appreciation to this individual who has made this event an exceptional one. I would like to invite, to do the honors, I would like to invite Professor K. Jayewardenepura, and to receive the token of appreciation, I would like to invite Justice Yasantha Kodagutta, Judge of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. Also, our next gratitude to Professor Jayewardenepura, and to present the token of appreciation, I would like to invite Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Shirantha Hinkenda. To receive the token of appreciation, I would like to invite Professor K. Jayewardenepura. To officially express our gratitude to all who made this event possible, we now invite Senior Lecturer Dr. Kaushalya Hevawasam, Organizing Secretary of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Reverend Sirs, Honorable Chief Guest, esteemed plenary speakers, distinguished delegates, and dear participants. It is my profound privilege and distinct honor to deliver the vote of thanks for this first international conference on criminology and criminal justice, themed New Horizons and Criminology and Criminal Justice. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Professor Padmanal Manage, Vice Chancellor of the University of Sri Jayewardenepura. His unwavering supports and dedication to academic excellences have brought this conference to life. We are immensely grateful for his leadership and commitment. Our deepest appreciation is also extended to Honorable Justice Yasantha Kodagutta, President Council and Judge of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, for gracing our conference as the guest of honor. Your presence has added great prestige and significance to this conference. I wish to express our sincere thanks to Professor Shirantha Hinkenda, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Your valuable guides has ensured the academic integrity and success of this event. A special thanks to Professor Dr. K. Jayewardenepura, our conference chair and Principal Director of the International Institute of Justice and Police Science, India. Your immense supports and collaboration expertise have been instrumental to ensuring the success of this event. We are truly honored by the presence of Professor Dr. Victoria Trimes from All Dominion University, USA as a distinguished guest. Our sincere appreciation also goes to Professor Dr. Michael Pitaro, Honorary Professor of the Criminal Justice and Program Chair of ICCCJ 2024. Your outstanding leadership and dedication have been invaluable throughout the planning and execution of this event. Additionally, we thank Professor Dr. Asha Sundaram from Savita School of Law, India, for your active role in fostering international collaborations and knowledge exchange. I extend my heartfelt thank you our General Chair, Professor Dhanapala Vijayasinghe, Head of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, for his vision, leadership, and tireless effort to make this event is a reality. A special thank to our esteemed plenary speakers, Shiok Chen Ang and Kavita Pandey from the Ministry of Law, Singapore, for sharing your profound knowledge on criminal policy and its global implications. Additionally, I would express my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Sajeeva Madhawatta, Senior Deputy Inspector General, Sri Lanka Police, and Vice President of the Criminology Alumni Society, for his active participation and invaluable contribution to this conference. His dedication and professionalism in facilitating key aspects of this event has been truly commendable. I also extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Jaliya Senaratne, Director of the National Police Academy and the Sri Lanka Police for their unwavering supports. A special mention goes to Dr. Anusha Singha, Head of the Department of Criminal Justice at Kothalawala Defence University, for her heartfelt help and invaluable support in making this conference as a success. A heartfelt thank you is extended to Professor Sunetra Tennakon, Director of the Multidisciplinary Center, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Damayanti Bamanusingha, Head of the Department of ICT and Director of the CDEPD, along with her team for their unwavering guidance and contribution. A special thanks goes to all the head of the Department of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. In particular, we extend our gratitude to the Head of the Department of Economics, Sinhala and Mass Communication, History and Archaeology, Sociology for generously offering the hall's facilities which were essential to the success for this event. Our sincere appreciation also goes to Dr. Deepal Gunasinghe and the student of the Languages and Performing Arts for their outstanding effort in ensuring the cultural vibrancy of this conference. A big thank goes to Mrs. Samantha Giganage, Deputy Registrar of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, and Dhammika Galkadua, Deputy Professor of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, for their invaluable administrative support. A heartfelt thank also goes to academic and non-academic staff of the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, all the members of the Criminology Student Association and the Criminology Alumni Association, an entire team of conference organizers. Their dedication and hard work have been the backbone of success of the event. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to all individuals who work tirelessly behind the scene, including the work aides and the minor staff of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Your collaborative efforts and support in various capacities have contributed immensely to the smooth running of the conference. Finally, to everyone who contributed to success of this conference, whether directly or indirectly, we extend our deepest gratitude. Your time, dedication, and unwavering support made this event possible. I wish all the participants great success and fulfillment of their endeavor. Let us continue the collaboration and push the boundaries of criminology and criminal justice as we move towards new horizon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kaushalya Hivavasam. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of this conference. We hope you found today's session valuable and inspiring. Please join us for the refreshments after the national anthems. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude this event, let's rise for the national anthems of Sri Lanka and India.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे Sri Lanka Mata Apa Sri Lanka Namo 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 Mata Sundara Sri Tarini Surami Ati Sumana Lanka Ranya Dhalaya Nikaman Vala Guru Piri Jaya Bhumiya Ranya Apa Apa Sabha Siri Sakta Sadhana Jivana Ye Mahaka Dilidanu Mana Apa Bhakti Puja Namo Namo Mahaka Apa Sri Lanka Namo 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 Mahaka Upave Apa Vidya Upamaya Apa Satya Upave Apa Shanti Apa Hada Tula Bhakti Apa Apa Aloki Apa Dianuprani Apa Apa Jivanani Apa Muktiya Obave Nava Jivana Denihi Nithina Apa Kubudu Karan Mata Jnana Vidya Bhagavani Viragena Yanu Mrina Jaya Bhumikara Ekkamavaka Gedanu Kala Darina Yamu Yamu Vinopama Prema Mara Samaveda Durara Namo Namo Mahaka Apa Sri Lanka Namo 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 Mahaka
Dear distinguished guests, please join us for the refreshments which is arranged in this building, and all the other participants, please join us for the refreshments which is arranged in the Balagalla building.